Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Morgan Danielle. Make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos, and we're going to get into my favorite topic as of late, which is foundations. I'm going to tell you all about how to choose the right foundation, how to pick a foundation that works best for you, what to do if a foundation doesn't work, and also how you apply it can change. Like, there's so many aspects of how to make your foundation slay. So if you want more, stay tuned for this video. I want to start off with before you put on foundation altogether, because a lot of times we don't even fixate on like the steps prior to putting on foundation versus what happens after. Because you can have the most expensive Lancome foundation, but if you did not get yourself together before you put it on, it's still not going to come out pretty much right. So what you want to do when you first, before you even put on foundation, depending on your skin type, if you have an oily skin type, you want to use you want to wash your face, have a moisturizer. If you have very dry skin, you want to use a moisturizer. You want to some way have your skin being hydrated, you want to take care of your skin, but on top of that, you also want to use a primer. Primer is important because primer can make your makeup last long, but on top of making it last long, it can also help smoothen out your base, mattify your face, boom. Like, it has too many good features for you to just skip out. So the three that I kind of keep in rotation mostly is going to be drugstore, but I do go higher end sometimes, but I also wanted to include some drugstore alternatives. So my favorite is Smashbox. I just feel like this foundation, like, first off, it feels good on my skin, but secondly, I just feel like it helps my makeup last long, but it's expensive. Then you have the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. Personally, didn't like it too much for myself, but I've heard other people say great things. But it does work well as a primer before you put on top of another one. And then this one is, whoopsie. Okay, and this one is the Black Radiance True Complexion HD Primer. It is 100% oil free, which is good for someone who has oily skin like me, although my skin isn't that much oily these days. And I got it in the color Natural Nude. It doesn't really matter what color you get it in as long as you don't get something that's like completely off from your skin tone, because this isn't my skin complexion at all. But yes, this is a very good primer. It's an easy drugstore alternative, especially for girls like me who are melanated. So that being said, you can definitely look at this as an alternative if you want to. After I put on my primer, I have started to actually putting on setting powder on top of my primer, and I usually use the NYX Mineral Set It and Don't Fret when I don't use Laura Mercier, but you know, Laura Mercier costs a cute coin, and your girl don't always be having the coins in college to be trying to like ball out, okay? So to keep it cute, you know, NYX will get you okay? The only thing is I need to go down one more shade because their medium dark is not my medium dark. But yes, so that will kind of help if you need if you have like oily skin like me, this will help like make your face matte. It will help, you know, lock in that extra layer of mattifyness, if that makes sense. So after you get your base all slayed and ready, now it's time to actually apply your foundation. So applying your foundation can be a hassle because, again, all different types of foundation will bring different types of application tools. Which I didn't really learn that when I first started doing makeup, but I've learned it definitely in my recent years. So like this is a brush by e.l.f. It was like a $3 brush. It's their powder brush, but I use it as a foundation brush. Jackie Aina recommended me. My girl put me on, and I like it. I like it because it just really helps blend my makeup out perfect, and I think it's a very cheap alternative, and it's actually constructed quite well. But I will only use this more so for liquid foundations. I wouldn't really use this for a powder foundation. I wouldn't use this for like more of a creamier foundation, because I've tried in the past, like especially with stick foundations, and it just it wasn't really malleable. It didn't really help get everything in, and it's easy to kind of be patchy in that sense. But for liquid, you can definitely want to use this. So with this, I would recommend something like Maybelline Fit Me. Those two can definitely pair together very well, and both of these are relatively cheap, especially because at my Walmart, this is $5 and this would be $3, so that's like $8 right here, and you have like a good set of like a utensil and something like for your face. So boom. So if you do want to use a stick foundation, you can. It's possible. It's definitely not something that you can not use, because I have been loving the Black Opal True Color Cream Stick Foundation in the color Hazelnut. I've been loving this. I feel like this is a very good drugstore alternative for girls who need full coverage. If you want to look like fake, like you want to like look extremely like Instagram baddie, like flawless skin, I reach for this. This is like my going out date night foundation because I like it. It's very, there's a lot of coverage to be found in this. And so, that being said, the only qualm I will have, like look how much you get in this. Like, and I have had this for about a couple months. So yeah, I think these are a lot more affordable. Even though this is like $10, but compare that to like a $40 foundation at Sephora, it's like you get more and it actually works well. So we're not really gonna get too much into that. But what I was saying was, with this, it's kind of hard to apply it using like a brush. More so, you need a beauty blender. For me, or at least in my case, I find that beauty blenders help with these kind of stick foundations a lot more because they allow you to really like get in every nook and cranny and make sure you really blend it out and so it's even, versus with a brush, it's like you kind of end up like scraping it around and you have to use more product in order to get that. So it's like, I would say it's easier to just get a foundation, like, to get a beauty blender and just work your way through. So there's that. And then you have foundations like this. Like, this is the Infallible Total Cover 24-hour foundation. So this is a lot more, it's not really like a cream. It's not really, I don't know what to call it because it comes out and like, I'll show you. I'll just show you guys. It's better than telling you. Okay, so look at this. Look at this. Look at this for me, okay? Now look at this come out. Like, this isn't exactly a cream. It isn't exactly like powder. You know, it's really hard to describe what it is. So it takes a minute, like, you see how it takes a minute for it to like actually break up and like come out? Yeah, so that's kind of how that worked. And sis, okay, let's get into, so with that kind of foundation, I kind of use a mixture of both my beauty blender and my actual foundation brush, because both together, and my hands, because all three of those can work together to actually even the product out and not make it so like thick. Like, that's because that's really the issue here, is that it's like extremely thick and it's really hard to like maneuver it in a way that isn't too crazy. So there's one more foundation that I did want to show you guys that is a little bit more on the higher end side that I think works well, and that is going to be the NARS True Radiance. And as you can see, this bottle has seen better days. It's been all over the place. It's fell everywhere. It's been thrown everywhere. It's lost. It's broken its top. I've went through life with this. But I've actually bought this twice. That's how you know it's good. I bought it twice. But with the NARS All Day Luminous, that's what it's really called. I don't know what I called it the first time. But with the NARS All Day Luminous, what I found with that one is that it's comparable to drugstore. Like, it didn't do anything for me personally that I couldn't get in a drugstore foundation. Although I will say it did last a little bit longer and it was easier to work with when it came to other products. So that was kind of my whole thing. But you can decide for yourself whether or not higher end is worth it in certain areas. So after you put on your foundation, you are going to want to put on your concealer. Some people put concealer on before, but I feel like concealer afterwards really helps to like brighten up the face and also add your contour. I will say this. Different, like I said, the combinations are going to always be kind of different. You know, some days you might use I might use my Smashbox with my Black Opal, and I might use a different concealer. Because my concealers are not the same color. I use sometimes NYX, sometimes I use NYX. I use True Fit Maybelline, or Fit Me by Maybelline, and I also even have a Black Opal concealer. And again, these combinations can definitely vary and change up how your makeup looks. I will say that a lot of times with stick foundations, I feel like from what I've gathered, they are a lot more easier. They definitely can handle a couple shades off of a concealer versus a liquid. A liquid cannot really handle it, but I find that, you know, I can use this with because this is not exactly my shade, so it can definitely look a little bit ghostly. I find that I can use this with Black Opal and it can work like a stick. When I use a stick, it's like you can't really tell the difference, but when I try to use Fit Me, it becomes very clear that they're not the shade difference. So, I say this all to say that foundation is not as hard as you think it is. You can do it. It's possible. You just have to learn that each each foundation is going to need something different. You know, some foundations are going to need a special type of brush, or they're going to need a brush, or they're going to need a beauty blender, or they're going to need, you know, your fingers. You know, that's going to change it up. You're going to need certain primers that are going to work better with certain foundations, you know. So don't be afraid to experiment and get out of your comfort zone and try different primers with different things. Just because the foundation looks bad with one combination does not mean you can't save it and actually like get a different one. So stop throwing away your makeup, okay? Listen to me. Listen to me, girls. Listen to me, girls, guys, everybody. Like, listen to me, my unicorns. Stop throwing away your makeup. Try to make it work first before you throw it away or you give it away. That has saved me a lot of money, because I hate going to the store and buying stuff and it not working. And I've learned to just find different ways to use it differently instead of just throwing it away. You know, some people are like, they'll be like, oh, well, this isn't the right shade for me, so I'm just going to throw it away. And I'm like, no, take it and try to find another way to use it and then throw it away. Like, if you cannot find no way to use it, like you can't use it as a brow highlight, if you can't use it as like a primer, if there's just no way, okay. But if you can find a way to finesse it and actually use it, that will save you so much money, and you'll feel like you get your money's worth versus you constantly buying stuff and having to take that gamble. Because, girl, we all know what it's like to go in the drugstore and you're looking on that aisle and you're like, oh, this looks like my shade, but this also like it could be my shade. How do I decide? It's like, But when in doubt, always go darker. You can always fix darker shades than you can lighter, because it's very hard to fix a very dark shade. For example, this Infallible is definitely not my shade. I don't know why I thought I was sun beige. I'm not. But when I mix it with my Fit Me, which is what I have on today, it actually kind of balances itself out. You know, I'm not exactly looking to like extremely off base with my actual shade. So that is how it can really work for you. So guys, hopefully this video was helpful. If not, you can drag me by the edges in my mentions. But make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'm going to try to make more videos. Make sure you subscribe to my social media, which will be all in the description box. But I probably will keep a list right here or something for you guys. Check out some videos. Hopefully I'll have some popped up here if I'm not too freaking lazy. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!